Hugo, you're running in District 13, right? And you're running to unseat Mitch O'Farrell, who's become sort of infamous, especially in this pandemic, for forcibly evicting an unhoused encampment in Echo Park, which is in his district, and basically sort of creating this I would say like heartless model for how to so-called clean up a city, which is relying on police, forcing people into housing whether they want it or not, with a bunch of restrictions involved. Talk about sort of your run at his seat, and your vision for your district as opposed to the vision that Mitch O'Farrell is kind of enacting right now.
Yeah, people heard, right? It's like cost the city millions of dollars and only housed four people. Only four people ended up in permanent housing. And so, we're trying to take the lessons I've learned over the last 15 years, take an organizer's approach. That's about building deep relationships, bringing the community in, regardless of the different opinions that you have,
Mhm.
and actually just listening to people. It sounds so simple, right? But you'd be surprised how much we hear that just listening to the folks doing the work matters. And so, we're trying to bring that perspective and centering on work on. I always say this, but we have to center it with a lot of love, compassion, and wisdom. And so, just trying to bring in the teachings that I've learned at the union. It's been mostly immigrant workers who have taught me these lessons. And so we're bringing them to City Hall.
I mean, it must be hard because living in and Eunisses, you're similar. Living in districts that have rapidly changed and gentrified, you also have like a certain portion of residents who are like on next door complaining about people going through their trash and shit. So how do you deal with that sort of more gentrified community and getting even the folks who are like middle income to upper middle income like on your side? I know this wasn't a yeah, I don't know. I didn't send you this question before, but it's like a really good question, is what I wanted to say.
Hugo, you were talking. You want to go first?
Yeah. So I've done a lot of work in the neighborhood council here in Los Feliz, and so there's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of tensions, and so I think and I've learned a lot. I'm going to be honest. I come from a more different perspective than a lot of the folks that are trying to protect their homes or their encampments. But what the truth is that we have to view this issue as who is the boss, right? And so in union organizing, we say, who's the boss, right?
Mm.
And so the boss is not those folks that are trying to get rid of the homeless. They are not the enemy. That's that's not the people we are fighting.
Mm-hmm.
We are fighting the system. We're fighting the roots and then the cause of this, right? It is unfair that our city is short 500,000 affordable units in the city. It is unfair that the largest mental health institution of this city is the county jail, right? And so we got to really look at the root causes of what's causing, and we know that the number one cause of homelessness is financial hardship. That is because people cannot simply pay their rent. And the second issue is it's addiction, and so that is, we don't treat that with criminalization. We treat that the way the wealthy would treat anybody who has this issue, and that's give them the medical treatment that they need. And so we are lacking resources, and that's how we're going to look at it. We're going to look at the root causes of these issues.
Mm. And this is tell me about your district and how that plays out in terms of getting people excited about your campaign.
Yes, thank you for that question. And so my district is kind of broken up into an area that's been very developed, but that's come with a lot of displacement. And then there's an area that, has had not a lot of investment, that's actually been kind of uninvested in. And so
Mm.
it's like balancing, like, how does that happen? How do we invest in the community that's been forgotten and thrown under the bus? That literally, as a council member, you have the power to decide, what kind of zoning happens in your district. And when you think about like other communities such as MacArthur Park, where those parcels of land are being completely sold out to start businesses. And sorry if you hear my printer, it's really loud. But that's what we're battling in this district, where we do have a part of the district that's that's on next door that's saying, why are there houseless encampments next to the farmers market? But it's about really questioning really what are the root causes, like, Hugo was talking about. Because in LA City, people would think, yeah, we have a health department, but LA City does not have its own health department. The city relies on the county for services. You would think that, there's plentiful drug treatment, that there's plentiful mental health services, but that doesn't, a system of care just doesn't exist in the city of LA, barely exists in the LA County, and we're building that up. But that's, I think, one of the things that I'm having to balance, is like a neighborhood where it's mostly immigrants, where people are working hard. There's so many empty buildings, but it's being kind of sold out under them. And then it's like Highland Park, where it's already kind of taken over, and we haven't been able to build like power against gentrification that's taken over here.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.